And we saw that. What do I mean by righteousness being a state of being? It is the state of being holy. It's the state of being pure. It's the state of being upright. And in terms of behavioral, it is the conduct of one who is righteous. And finally, the third part of it is that it is relational. It is being right with God or being right with others. When I heard that last one, relational, that sounds like Nehemiah. You know, functional versus relational. And also, being right with God and being right with others reminds us of our CLS Talks 4 and 5. Is it not that, brothers and sisters? Right? Are you awake? What is 4 and 5? Okay, you've got a lot of potential CLS team leaders right there. In one instance, the word righteousness means being right. In another, it is used to mean doing what is right. And then still in another, it means putting your relationship right. And these definitions of righteousness, the three that you've heard, can be personified in a biblical character whose name we focus upon this entire weekend. And his name is Job. He is the right Job. And we can look at him as our model of true righteousness. And what is Job's righteousness? How is it described? And it's described off the bat in Job chapter 1, the first verse. In the land of Ur, there was a blameless and upright man named Job, who feared God and avoided evil. Feared God and avoided evil. His righteousness meant living in accordance with God's holy ways, having the right relationship with God, and doing what is right for everyone who was around him. He was truly an example of what it meant to be a righteous person. And so let us begin to examine what Job's life was about. And there are two moral principles that are being offered to us this afternoon about the righteousness of Job's life. And those two principles are being upright, number one, and number two, always seeking to do what is right. So being upright, always seeking to do what is right. What does being upright mean? Being upright means having a clean hand and a pure heart. In this age where we have to use a lot of sanitizers, that may be the first thought that comes into your mind. A clean hand means I just put a gallon and pour a gallon of sanitizer and it's clean. Well, being upright is more than that. Being upright is also equated with the purity of heart and striving for that standard. And you know, purity of heart and having a clean hand reminds me of a prayer that a young woman who is now 22 years old and happens not to be here for the first time. She's a daughter of mine. She's been to all the conferences. Only her brothers are here today. But she taught me a prayer when she was 6 years old, around kindergarten age. And it goes like this. Father in heaven, I give you today all that I think and do and say. When I heard that prayer, ever since the day I heard that, I've always been down on my knees each morning when I wake up. And I begin to say that prayer. It was a prayer of a 6-year-old that has turned out to be a prayer of a 36-year-old and a prayer of a 56-year-old, and I can tell you can be the prayer of an 86-year-old. Because that, to me, captures the essence of what having a clean hand and a pure heart means. Because when you wake up each day and think and offer to God all that you think and you do and you say, what else can go wrong? Brothers and sisters, that is cleanness of hand. And in order to understand what being upright means, there are 5 ways that are presented to us to give an explanation of what it is to be upright. The first one is purity. Think purity, there you go. And that is really captured in Job. Everything here will be from the 31st chapter of Job. This is from the first 9 verses. We must be pure in deed and in thought, just like the prayer of my daughter. And being pure in thought can be many things. You know, I know there's a lot of husbands there, and we all work out there. You know, many times we just don't work with males. We work with females. And if a female happens to be passing by, and there are many attractive females out there, including in the place where I work, including in the places where you work. And you know, you admire beauty. And so the female passes by and you say, wow. But you know, if you think more and stare more at all those curves, then you start to wonder, wow, there's more to that. And you start to look and you start to stare. And you know, brothers and sisters, the sense of sight, the gift of sight from God is the highest level of sense perception. That really communicates a lot right away. And so you start to stare, and then finally, it goes from admiration now to wanting more, to look more, focusing more, and before you know it, you're starting to lust. And brothers and sisters, lust is the total opposite of what it means to be pure. And don't tell me, husbands, that, oh, Brother Mike, you know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for having that lustful thought, but it just came like that. It can't come like that. You know, it takes a while to admire, and then to start focusing, and then to lust. It's not a microwave thing. When you first look, it's like you preheat the oven at about 150, 200 degrees. And then you start to bake it in your mind until finally it's getting cooked in there and your soul is getting cooked. And that is not what we want. If we want to be upright, we have to be pure in our thoughts. And it's a constant battle. It's a constant battle in our thoughts. As an individual also, it's not just about lusting that we have to avoid. We also have to avoid malicious thoughts. Thoughts about others that are not building. Thoughts about others like, you know, you can malign a person either verbally or even deep inside you when you think. You can really sin by thinking, even if you don't say anything or do anything. And that's why that prayer was asking God and offering to God all that we think and do and say, because we don't want to lustfully think. Lustful thought, malicious thought, those are not pure thoughts. So purity is very important. The next one is unworldliness. Now what is unworldliness? In the same chapter of Job, chapter 31, Our joy is not rooted in material possessions. Now, I know we're not very far from Wall Street. You know, Wall Street once symbolized power. The power of the dollar, the power of investments. And as a career banker, I can appreciate that. But you know what, brothers and sisters? When you invest yourself just in material wealth, when you're too obsessed about your 401k and all those investments and all these trust funds, guess what? In the last 10 years, markets have moved against us. And there ain't anything we can do. There's nothing that we can do because it is not in our control. No matter how much of a finance wizard we are, we should be thankful, brothers and sisters, each day. What am I thankful for? Of course, I'm thankful for having a job. I'm thankful for having the means of livelihood, to be able to educate my children. But there are certain basic things that I'm thankful about. When I wake up in the morning after I say that short prayer that my daughter taught me, I'm thankful first that I'm safe. Secondly, you wake up alive and everything functions. You can stand, you can walk. We're thankful for our health. Those are the material things I'm thankful for. But there are three other things that I'm also thankful for. I'm thankful for God always keeping me honest. Honestly. For God trying to teach me what humility is. Because those two things, God teaches me each day so that I can become holy. When you think about it, safety and health being the basic material things, and honesty, humility, and holiness being the spiritual things, those are the basic things we have to be thankful for. And those can be captured. What do you see there? Louder. When somebody tells you, shh, it reminds me about be quiet, be calm, be still. That was one of our songs. Be still. Shh. Be thankful for what you have. Be thankful for the basic things, material and spiritual, that God has given you and given me and given us. Earlier at Mass, I believe there was another song that said, "Your grace is enough." We have to be thankful for the grace that's given to us, because that is enough. Shh. Purity and worldliness. The next one is sincerity. And this is what Job says in that chapter 31. We must not live hypocritical lives. We must be sincere as Job was sincere. He truly walked the talk. He was a man of integrity. And in this community, we have to be sincere. We cannot just say we are an evangelistic community. We also have to be good witnesses. We cannot just claim that we're pro-life because, we've got that sticker in our cars. We have the CFC FFL sticker. I saw the t-shirt of our brothers from Texas. It says, "Don't mess with the unborn." That's pretty cool. But if we say we're pro-life, we truly have to believe that we believe in life from conception to natural death. And it's not, we heard a lot about abortion this morning, and the efforts to control population and all that. But there are also, that's a wide spectrum, their end-of-life issues.